Ripple, good morning. Hi, BookTube. I've had a very relaxing Saturday. I went on several walks and I got some clips, as you would have seen from one of the walks with Fable this morning. And I passed a little free library and had to check out what they had. Like in my vicinity, within like 10 minutes walking distance around me, there's like 6 or 7, maybe 10 little free libraries. So like it's hard not to check them out as I'm passing them by. So yeah, I'm going to show you what I got there along with what I've read today. I didn't do much else. I did make a nice lunch and dinner. I didn't film any of it, unfortunately, but I'm going to have the same thing tomorrow, I believe. So yeah, I can show you there. I was trying experimenting with a sandwich. It's not that exciting, but and then for dinner I was making Indian curry. And I'm trying to work on, because I've made Indian food quite a bit, but I really want them. There's like a local Indian grocery store I want to go to because my food tastes pretty good, but it's not like the level like the restaurant quality. So I wonder if it's like the chili, like the flavor itself. Like I wonder if it's like the chili powder and things like that. That would be different that they use. So we'll see. But if you know anything about Indian cooking, let me know, because I've tried a variety of recipes and I followed them to a T, but they're just missing something. So anyway, let's see. I'll start with what I got from the Little Free Library this morning. So I got a couple of books. I didn't want to go overboard. I passed up a Little Free Library. He'll be proud of me. I was like, okay, I got 3 from this other Little Free Library. I don't need any more. So let's see. This one is There's a Barabusa in My Bathtub. It's Fact and Fancy About Curious Creatures by Maxine Ross Schurer, and it's illustrated by Michael S. Madak, and this is a children's picture book, and it was just too cute. I love these little like factoid information books with illustrations. I mean, I want to learn about this animal, like, don't you? So this would be really something to fly by real quick. This one says it's a jerboa, and it gives you the name along with how to pronounce it. So this is perfect. It says, fabulous fact. The jerboa has thick hair on the pads of its feet that absorb the shock of landing after its gigantic jumps. So that's really cool. But yeah, this will fit in perfectly with Shorty September, and yeah, I get to learn about all the different animals here. This one looks like Fable. And then this next one is Seed Behind Trees by Michael Dorris. And I was like, why does that author sound familiar? And then I look at it closer as I'm walking along, and I'm like, Morning Girl, I just read this book. This was, I think, the very first book I read for Shorty September. And so I don't think I ever read this author previous to that. So like, this is perfect. And this one, like the Morning Girl, was about a family that's living on an island, and at the very end, I think I kind of complained about this book because you have like their story and like the background of like each of their names and where they're getting the names from and all that. But at the very end of the story, it's like a Christopher Columbus boat, or the English colonist boat pulls up, sees the family, and they're just getting out of the boat, and then it's like the end. So that aggravated me. We'll see if this one, if I get along better with this one. But this one is about a nearsighted boy named Walnut. And he just can't earn his adult name the way other boys do, and by hitting a target with a bow and arrow. So because he's working on things like that, like struggling to keep up with the other boys, it seems. So yeah, we'll see. And yeah, I'm hoping to get to all these books I'm showing you this month. Like, read them and then put them right back into the Little Free Library, and so like have them sit here on my shelf for too long. This next one is a DC comic. It's Secret Hero Society Study Hall of Justice, and this is by Derek Friedolfs and Dustin Nigan. And this, it was so, I don't read a lot of DC comics, hardly ever really, but there's Superman, Batman, and then you have Wonder Woman here. And it's a comic book, a black and white comic book, and there's text and all sorts of things in here. It's like a multimedia kind of deal. There's letters and bulletin boards, emails. But yeah, this looks like too much fun not to give it a go. There's like letters on the back with all their the Joker, and like I know some of the main the main characters, but not like Bane. I don't know who Bane is, and the other one is, oh yeah, there's like homeroom teachers. I guess there's different like villains that are like the villains, because they're they're like bad teachers or something, or maybe they're there's bullies in classrooms. So yeah, these were all too cute to pass up, really. And so okay, so I got that, and then for the books I read today, I finished Missing May by Cynthia Rylant, and this one was better than I initially thought, because I was like, this is weird, because like I had just read like 20 pages before sitting down to talk to you yesterday, and it's about Summer's uncle, who is he's thinking he's seeing his dead wife, who recently died, like visiting him, and so her friend, what is the friend name again? Cletus. Summer's friend Cletus comes by, and he like trying to help him find his dead wife, and so the story goes on, and it is like more realistic than I was thinking. I was like, where's the story going? And it's so super short, but of course it ends with them all reconciling with what has happened, and dealing with grief instead of trying to find, I don't know, other reasons, or outside the world of reality, kind of deal. But yeah, this was really good. A book that wasn't so good, Ellen Montgomery's Akin to Anne. This was collected, I believe, after she had died, and it was just too much repetition. There's, I don't even know, like probably 30 stories, at least 20 stories in this short book, less than 200 pages, and all of them were reading the same thing, which is a different main character, and a lot of them too were like 3 or 4 pages each, but it was all about, okay, there's an orphan, or someone who's alone, or someone who's like unhappy, whatever, and they meet someone like 2 pages in that's like their long lost relative, and then the end. That's it. You don't get to see their life with the new person or anything like that. So each of these, there's like just back to back stories of that, and it was not good. It was, I mean, 1 or 2 stories of this, okay, but I feel like these were just more a collection of her ideas on orphans than it was a true short story collection. And maybe that has to do with, this, I'm pretty sure this was collected after, she's died. She didn't put this together herself, I don't think. Yes, edited by a different, Ree Wilmshurst. So, yeah. Anyway, there's that. Because often, I want to say it because I'm not disappointed by Ellen Montgomery. I really like her writing, but this one just didn't hold up. And then the last book, I am halfway through this one. This is I'll Gather My Geese by Hallie Crawford Stillwell. And here she is when she's super young. And it includes a photo of her on the back here. And she gets married to a man who is 20 years older than her, and he owns a ranch right on the border of the Rio Grande River in Texas, in like the Big Bend area. And this is like during like the 1910s, 1915 time period, and he's like owned this ranch like 1904 or something like that. And it's very like primitive. And he was talking, like they're talking about how when he initially bought this ranch and was working, building up this cow ranch, he was living under a tree. Like he had his food and pots and pans like strung up on the tree so like the animals wouldn't get it. But literally he's living under a tree. And so when she arrives like 10 or so years later, there's a 1-room shack that it's like living room, bedroom, everything's all in one room, and there's like a bunch of writing on the walls, like different notes to his hired hands. And so there's a story, and so then she's like acclimating to all this, and so she decides, oh, I see all these walls are marked up, I'm gonna clean them. And then her husband and the cowhands come, and like, what did you do? Like, how are we gonna know what's what now? These were all our notes. And so she thought she was doing a good thing. But yeah, so that's just one little example. She's just trying to acclimate to living on a ranch, because she has experience with horses and she has experience living in this like, you know, dry, dusty, hot area of Texas. But still, it's still a learning curve. But yeah, then on the back it said she was born in Waco, Texas, and lives in Alpine. She taught school, managed a restaurant, raised children, and was a justice of the peace. And she's been a rancher since 1918 and a news reporter since 1930. And she was still living at the time of this, when this book was published in 1991. Yeah, so she's lived a good long life. I'm not sure if she's still living or not, but yeah, it's been a nice read so far. You know, each chapter focuses on, like right now I just got to World War One. So yeah, just like going through her history living at the ranch. So yeah, that's what I've been up to today. Hopefully, like I said, tomorrow I'll get some clips of what I've been up to in the kitchen cooking and stuff. Because other than that, I'm just like trying to just relax this weekend and take it easy. But I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, BookTube.